Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer, and with me today, Jack of the Brothers Toll. Jack, welcome to the show. How you doing, Jack?
Thank you. The younger brother Toll.
Jack was my round 2 opponent of the Atlantic City Open in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Team tournament. I was very much part of like a ragtag team. I was kind of a TO and a player. It didn't make sense. You were also on kind of like a mercenary team, or were all your players friends with you?
Oh no, yeah, we're all from a group that all play together. At a store in Newington, and our local TO, who was EJ, just kind of invited me, and then we just built a team together and just wanted to experience it.
That's awesome. I love team tournaments. Like, added this wonderful extra layer on tournaments are so much fun.
Absolutely. It was such a cool vibe. It was like this weird balance of like super casual while we also had like 3 players ranked in the top 10 there. Like, it was just so funny.
So Jack, tell me your quote unquote Warhammer story. When did you start playing? What was your first army? I don't know. Fill me in.
So it started, like, I remember my brother and his friends, I think they dabbled. It would have been like the 5th edition starting box. It would have been like the Lizardmen one. Because we have miniatures. I still have them, like, just scattered around. They really started playing in 6th. And I remember my brother wanted to play dwarfs, but they bought the starter box. His friend took orcs, and I took the Empire. Okay. And so that was how it started. So I was probably 7 or 8 years old, playing with like my 13-year-old brother and his friends, trying to keep up, just playing Empire, had the cannon, spearmen, and that was it. And we just went from there.
Good times. But what is your main faction? The one you, I guess, played the most?
Right. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but right now it's Lizardmen.
Yeah. Lizardmen. Yeah. Let's go.
They got done dirty at the beginning of this edition, but thankfully, due to Val Heffelfinger, we are relevant at the least, and I think there's strong play in there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Quick update: the Nova Open in Washington D.C. at the end of August. He just sent an announcement out that he is using baseline GW, all this new stuff that came out. It's going to be purely that, no extra fan comp on top of it. Mm-hmm. But he is talking to Val, and if he gets his Renegade pack out within like a month from now, we'll use Renegade pack also.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, but to be honest, like I'm okay either way. Like, I was figuring out the Lizardman list before. Mm-hmm. I like the Renegade pack. It's more freedom, but like I can rock vanilla Lizardman. I'm confident.
I'm still doing it. Are you going to the Nova Open?
I'm really hoping to be there. I'm like 80% sure. Like, I'll be there.
Come on. Yeah. I was there last year. I'm going this year. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Figuring out logistics, but I definitely want to go.
Okay, so actually that brings me to my next question I had for you, Jack. You've obviously read through the FAQ and the match play pack and, all that other good stuff. Do you think Core Saurus, are a solid choice now with the making rank and file better, plus they get the +1 armor for hand weapon shield, and they're still strength 4 with AP 1 with obsidian blades? Are they worth taking at this point?
Yes. But Temple Guard are obviously a better choice. Just whether you want to do the Slan to get them. I don't know that a Slan is worth it. I haven't decided yet with the change to Magic. But Saurus are good. I played Temple Guard over the weekend. They are good. They feel good. They feel like they're 17 points, and it's very nice. The switching weapon is huge for them.
Yeah, so that's a big thing.
With all your combat res, stubborn shield wall, and then you can flip the halberds if you win combat. It's so cool. I dig it. The 2 attacks are so good when you can actually fight.
I'm feeling it too, and I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm like leaning toward Lizardmen for Nova Open, but we'll see. We'll see. No promises yet.
I think they have a lot of play. I think I expect to see a little bit more infantry on the board, and that lets units like Cold One Riders kind of shine. They have bucket loads of attacks, so I think they have a lot of play. I think it's there. Skinks hilariously have a 4-up armor save in combat. So they're weirdly tanky. I got charged by a unit of Rat Ogres and only one died. And I know Rat Ogres aren't good, but that's still objectively funny.
Yes, I agree. Oh man, maybe I should start thinking about taking a big unit of Skinks and just running them combat-wise.
And the poison nerf is real. It's not bad. I understand why Wood Elf players are upset because their archers are 15 points with poison. Skinks are 5 points. They were severely undercosted before. And I think Lizardmen players took the win because everything in the book wasn't good. So we got our...
We're like, we'll take it. Okay. So... Enough theoretical talk. Let's get to this battle report. All right, here we go. All right, so round 2. I can't remember our pairing process. I did not get put out first, and you were not put out first either. Someone else on your team was. And I think there was a choice for you to choose me, and obviously, like, we had the choice to choose each other. Our team captains did, and I think both of our team captains thought it was a good matchup for both of us.
Yeah, so we kind of all talked about it. I was technically the team captain, and yeah, I felt like you were.
Oh, yeah, you were. I'm sorry, you were the team captain. My bad.
Yeah, it was like we were like a community process, but I thought that you were a good matchup for me, and I think overall you were. And as we'll get to later, I think there was a key thing that happened in the game that really flipped that whole game in round 2, 3.
Foreshadowing.
But I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly who was on your team. Did you have the Empire player on your team? Is that you guys?
Yeah, we had the Knight Empire player, like Knight list.
I think we put up EJ playing High Elves as our defender. That was your Empire player. I don't quite remember. I neither do I. In front of me, maybe I'd be able to tell you, but I can't remember exactly.
So this was a unique scenario. He called it behind enemy lines, but this was the diagonal deployment with bonuses for getting into your opponent's deployment zone and keeping your opponent out of your deployment zone. Kind of push-pull kind of situation.
Yeah.
And let's see here.
We're super close to each other.
Yeah, we're close to each other. I like the diagonal deployment. I really do. I love the diagonal deployment.
I love it. Full violence. I just wasn't playing a full violence list this time around.
All right. If you're interested in looking into the detail of my list, please click the link right above my head to the corner of the screen. That'll take you to the round 1 video of my round 1 game, where I go over my list in a little more detail. So we're just going to jump right ahead to Jack's list. And this is the fun part is both of us play Beastmen and both of us play Lizardmen, so we really understood each other's lists. But reminder for everyone watching, this is Renegade Pack Lizardmen. So that obviously goes into your list build. Take me through your list. You don't have to read it line by line, but tell me about the big things you did.
So it started with getting the Renegade Pack. So the worst thing was always the Saurus tax, because they stunk. They just stunk in this edition. It was just like a 200-point tax. It was just guys, I was like, okay, these guys will die. So I don't have to take them. So I was like, all right, what can I do? What works in Warhammer? That's skewing. So I was like, what's the best thing in the list? Skinks.
Yeah, of course.
Started with like 100. I think at one point I even tested 120. But it was almost
like,
too much.
And they're all skink skirmishers, so there was 3 units of like 40 guys?
No, like I had some blowpipe, the
chameleons.
I had some of those mixed there, but like it was like balancing on a knife's edge. Like one thing went wrong, and honestly, what changed it was gigantic spawns. That one unit breaks that list, and that led the way to the Carnosaur, and so it was a little bit different than the skink list you saw at like the TSN Arena when Renegade's first pack like dropped, because you were seeing the 150 skinks list.
Yeah.
I think that's a little too much. I like having the Carnosaur decked out. He's got the Ogre Blade. He's got the Talisman. Given that build's going to have to change. Thankfully, Lizardmen have a solid 65-point item weapon.
Yeah, and the Ogre Blade went up, so it's gonna. It kills your current build, but there's still plenty of good builds for this.
Yeah, so I'll probably still. I just like having a Beater Lord. He's cheap enough that it's okay if he loses to the 500-point dragon, and some just wins. that damage on the Carnosaur is devastating. It catches people off guard. When I just spike 3 wounds with the Carnosaur and it turns into 7.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
so true.
The Slan was you just leaned into him. I forget exactly. He came out to about 420 points or something like that.
This is showing 405.
Okay, yeah, 405 is probably right. And so you plop Wand of Jet. He gained an ability to reroll 1 casting die, which helps you. It's not on a fail either, so you can use it to avoid breaking Wand of Jet. And then he can also do that on Dispels with another ability that you pay for.
That extra Renegade rule like really makes Wand of Jet like so much better.
Yeah, you get a reroll on Dispel and casting. Most of the time it breaks by turn 3 or 4 still, but you still just get this first or 1 or 2 turns of just magic dominance. And then the Engine of the Gods got me up to +6, and that's when you're doing whatever you want for a couple turns.
And I think with this new FAQ, if Val decides in the Renegade pack to keep that reroll 1 dice, getting a +4 to your cast is going to be super strong.
Oh yeah, it felt good in the 2 games I played with him. It already felt dominant, which is nice. He should.
which is nice. So yeah, so you had the Ancient Stegodon, but then you just had the double Solar Engine Bastillodons.
Yeah, and those did really good in testing, and then did nothing for 4 games at ACO. So what do you? I
think the last list I ran with Lizardmen, I had 3 of those, and they're fun when they hit. If you roll that 7, they hit and they're amazing, but they're so skewy. They're so skewy.
Yeah, they become almost a distraction piece. People get very scared of them. For instance, in the last game, I played against Nathan at ACO, and he just never moved his Blood Knights. He was so nervous. I just kept both of them outside of his Dispel range. But if he ever moved his Blood Knights up, I would get to cast both of them on him and Plague of Rust on him with no Dispels. Yeah. And he just never tried it.
That's in this game, that's half the battle. Just making your opponent scared of something.
Yep, it's 3d3 strength 5 AP2 with flaming. So Blood Knights hate that. They hate that a lot.
All right. Let's get on to the game here. Deployment. So obviously I had very few drops. I didn't know where your army was going to end up, so I plopped. And I remember I dropped early, the first 2 drops, and forgot you had stupid scout on one or two of your skink units. So I dropped. I basically my rank and file models with my character killer model and my general just plopped right in the middle of the board. I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to just go right at your face. You don't have anything combat except for your Carnosaur. That was my option there, and then everything else splattered around to. I messed up, and as you can see, you scouted 1 unit on that far bottom right of the table, but I thankfully remembered I need to stop those scouts from going in my backfield, and I put 1 piggy back here in the corner to prevent that.
Damn.
But tell me about your deployment. Yeah, go ahead, just take it away.
So I basically deploy the same in almost every game with this list. I actually variation on you, and as we'll get to, it did probably cost me the game. Typically, the Carnosaur sits with the Slan, and he more plays a bodyguard. I am more aggressive and hunt down your giant spawns early, and that ended up being a mistake, especially with how turn one I had, which we'll get to.
Yeah,
had a very good turn one, and then you had a very good turn two, and we just from there we just kept flipping back and forth to each other.
We just went crazy. After that.
So normally what I do is I just kind of put the Slan in the middle of the board, surround him with skinks. He's monstrous infantry now, hides in the middle. You sit the Stegodon next to him, that he's just there to do +1 to cast, and then the Carnosaur just kind of bodyguards them, and then I play games with the 2 units of scouts, and then
he's sitting there just waiting for a counter charge, just waiting for someone to go for the Slan, and then just bam.
Yep, and he just deals a lot of damage. He's got 11 total attacks, all with D3 strength 7, so it's just a lot of damage potential to happen. I've popped Tomb Kings with it before. It's just his spiking is just insane.
Yeah, it is.
As you see, I put him pretty far to the right, and then there is a unit of Jungle Swarms there. They're just kind of there to fill my core and be a nuisance, and they do that job well enough.
they do that job very well enough. I won the first turn roll off because I had the +1. I think that was like the only game this tournament I actually got every game I got the +1. This is the only roll I actually got to go first,
really?
Which is funny.
I always play Scout, so people are always getting the +1 on me. So
yeah. And I do something that I think was the right move. I was running Demonology. I rolled up Steed of Shadows. I got Steed of Shadows off on my main core unit, and I YOLO'd 24-inch charge right in front of your wizard. I realized, as you said, the Carnosaur wasn't protecting him. I needed to get in your face, and that's where your points were. Because right in there in that block there is your Slan, your Ancient Stag, and a Bastillodon. So I'm like, I'm just going to shove my unit up there and see what happens. Like, I just need to, force the issue. I mean, you said you weren't expecting that. Was that like a oh shit moment?
Sort of. I also trusted in what was going to happen next because of sheer volume of poison shots. It was still the giant spawns. Because of the random move, that was my main focus. The gore brick, if your characters got there, they're going to chop through skinks. But I knew I had one turn. I could kite you around and do. But it's those giant spawns. That was my main focus the whole time. Gores without armor, skinks love it.
Oh, who needs armor? Come on now. And I rolled high enough on my giant spawn on the left to get out of sight of the Carnosaur, so I wasn't afraid about that. I was just gonna dance around that forest for a little while. But yeah, that was my first turn, and as you can see, this is bottom of one, and you can see, look how many guys are left on my unit. That's over half. You just went bananas on that unit.
Yeah, I think I shot 48 javelins, so a couple magic missiles. It was a lot of damage very quickly.
And obviously, and then that was basically your turn. And then to cap it off on the top of turn 2, 2 things happened. First, I miscast on the unit and did more damage to myself. And I think I'm down to 5. What is that? 3, 8, 7, 6 guys left in the unit. It was great.
I forgot about that. That is the second thing that happened.
But this is where the game swung, and you're exactly right. It was, you left the Carnosaur off on its own on one side of the table, away from your Dispel Bubble. That was the big thing. And I dropped my Shooty unit with the poison shots, the Power Scroll, Vile Tide, Hagtree Fetish, and a Ruby Ring in that unit. I dropped it right behind that Carnosaur, and just I got lucky 2 on the dice, and I just blew him off the board. It was crazy.
just the poison arrows alone, you got like 4 wounds off of them, and then the Vile Tide just finished them off. It was I just didn't think of the ambush. I don't know like why I didn't think of it. I just didn't, and it just yeah, it was a big key mistake in my deployment, and it changed it because I thought I had it. Like right before this moment, I thought I was like good. I was like, all right. I had a clean like 16-4 round 1. I was like, this is gonna be nice. Like, we're gonna be all right. And then yeah.
Well, that's the key. That's the thing, though. I think a lot of people are gonna fall into this trap because a lot of people use big one-piece monsters to hold a flank, and that's like a lot of people put those monsters on the flank of their army to hold the edge. And I think having this ambush Vile Tide situation is gonna pay. It's like a lot of people are gonna set that up for me. I think maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm gonna do twice. It's definitely something I'm gonna respect from now on. Yeah, I just it was a lot of damage. I thought like the ward saves would be enough. I was like, he's got to roll 6s. I get he's got Hag Tree Fetish. I think you rolled really high with the Vile Tide.
I did.
Just, yeah, it was just a lot. And yeah, you know, that won't happen again. He needs to be babies with this toad. They need to hang out with each other.
And I also I had just enough space to drop my Minotaurs in the top right corner there behind your Ancient Stag.
Another miss. Can't lie. I didn't realize you were going to squeeze right there. I forget how small 8 inches really is. I didn't measure it. I thought of it. I didn't think you could fit there.
It's very easy to think about 12 inches from scouting. Be like, oh, it's 12 inches also. Or like just eyeballing it, you're like, oh, it's about that, right? And in reality, 8 inches is so much smaller than 12 inches.
Oh, yeah. Especially just a single, little 50 mil base can squeeze right in there.
And I think the rest of this game we're going to breeze through pretty quickly, but obviously I took off the Carnosaur there with magic. In your turn, you just kill off the unit. 2 characters are left. I don't actually... And you were using Vortexes a lot, which was really funny. And I think eventually you just shoot off the board because I didn't want to charge you because you were just going to poison shoot me because, again, the characters have no armor either.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're just, if the Beast Lord charged in, you were just looking at 24 javelin shots. Or, they probably wouldn't have all seen, but you're still looking at probably like 15.
Yeah. But while that unit lost, my giant swarms won. They got through your skinks. Then eventually the one in the center got into your quaddle. And the Minotaurs ended up, after like 2 or 3 rounds of combat, ended up killing the Ancient Stegodon in the backfield, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. But eventually, at the end of the game, I want to skip right ahead because the end of the game was really funny. It was at this point.
Yeah, it's like a decision, like, am I going to try and kill, like, a spawn and some Minotaurs, or go try for the objective? And it was like, what was the right play? I probably made the right play.
Yeah, you did. You definitely. You left one scoring unit that had just enough of time at turn 4 to march twice into my deployment zone, which would match my one unit that's in your deployment zone, the shooty unit. And you were thinking like, oh man, I wanted to stay there because what was left in the backfield was 1 Minotaur left out of 4, and I think the giant spawn had like 2 wounds left, something very little.
Yeah, so it was like, maybe I'll get 350 points, or it's a 3-point scenario swing. Mm-hmm. 3, which is like 500 points mathematically-ish. Yeah. So I think I made the right call. I think we ended up drawing points-wise anyway, and then pushing the...
And also the thing to consider is that 3-point battle point swing is guaranteed. The shooting me off the board is not guaranteed. You could roll poorly.
That was the other thing. Yeah.
So it was a great game, a bloody game, and actually in the last turn I killed in turn 5 I killed the Bastillodon and your Skink Priest off the hill, which was funny. I think with a fireball.
What did I even end with? Did I end with the Slan, or was he gone too?
Let's see here. Bottom 5. Yeah, I killed the Slan.
Yeah.
The gigantic spawn that was fighting him survived, and you had just 2 units of skinks and the 1 Bastillodon, I think.
Wild.
So it was a very bloody game.
Yeah, I think all you had was like a spawn, the 1 Minotaur, and your little poison blob.
Yep, that's exactly right. That points-wise ended up being 17-15 for me, 14-47 for you, which put it at 11-9. And since you moved that unit down there to cancel out the secondary objective, it stayed in 11-9.
Yep.
Very, very... You know what? Me, personally, I consider 11-9s ties. So I consider this in my head a tie. This was very much a tie.
Well, I appreciate that. You did win, but I appreciate it. Actually, in the new match, this would be a tie, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, with the new scoring system, which is, it's going to change things. Instead of a 20-0 system, it's a 6-0 system.
Right.
Yeah, which is...
We'll see what they do with it. I think a lot of people might just stick with the BCP, but we'll see.
I think a lot of people are going to stick with the 20-0 system because they're used to it. But I don't think there's not gonna be that much of a crazy situation happen with the 6-0 system. I don't know.
I think it's more just we can have consistent data. Like we've been running the 20-0 system. I just make a change. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So that's the end of the game. I can't remember if your team won the actual round or if my team won. I think we got a small win over you.
No, I believe we won. I believe my brother had a good game against, because your team had Simon. I'm trying to remember.
I'm looking it up now. I need to know.
Yeah, I believe my brother had a big win against Simon. Maybe not a big win, but a win, which we didn't we expected the Bretonia list to get, but he did a great job.
Yeah, as a matter of when the High Elves beat the Empire, a small win. Tomb Kings beat the Ogres, small win. And then Simon beat the Vampire Count, small win. So it was all small wins.
Gotcha. Okay. So we just kind of split 4 minor wins.
And it was almost a tie. It was 44-45. Very close.
The objective. I think my brother beat Simon points-wise, and then Simon snagged the objectives. I believe. I don't remember. Maybe not. I don't remember.
Who cares?
It was more we took it as a win because I expected the Bretonia list to give him a real problem with his dragon and everything. I for it.
So, what is your... We talked about Nova Open. What is your next tournament? Is it Nova? Our big tournament?
So we have a single day here in Connecticut, in Newington. It's all filled up. I think a couple people from your area are going. A couple people that were at ACO.
Okay.
I know Alex, the Dwarf player who was at ACO. He will be there.
Nice.
So, it should be a fun time. So that's a 1-day, 24-man tournament. I'm going to one in Jersey in the 26th.
Cool.
That's in Rudolph, Jersey. That's another 1 day.
Oh, is that at Mythicos?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I'm out of town. Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah, going to that one. That's another 1 day. And then probably the only GT is going to be Nova. It's probably the next 2 day that I'm going to do.
Yeah. So, real question for you. Are you sticking with Lizards?
Oh, yeah. We're
commitment.
I'm at a 50% win rate right now, which is pretty cool for Lizardmen. So we just got to keep riding the wave and see what we can do with them.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Jack. I will see you at Nova. Hopefully we play each other and we can do another report.
Yeah.
But take it easy. If anyone's still watching, please hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you next time.
Definitely. Have a good one, guys. Happy dice rolling.